Hi, welcome to Deep Dark Yoga. We're going to play some doom metal, do some gentle yoga stuff. I'm April Fox. Glad you're here. As you're getting ready for practice today, heads up, some things might be a little bit strong for knees that aren't feeling great. So if there's some transitions that don't feel good to you, don't do that part. Just relax, get up off the ground, however it feels good to you. That probably sounded scary. I promise it's not that wild. I just want to give you a little disclaimer to pay good attention to what's going on in your body. Also, if you have a yoga strap, that's great. If you don't, grab something that you imagine you could use to like hold onto a leg or whatever would work. I've used like a pair of leggings or a scarf. I have yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, grab like a stack of books. Don't use them, just come up to your fingertips. You're not really going to be out much anything there if you don't have yoga blocks at your house. Hit subscribe, because I think you're going to like this video and this practice. And if you want to come practice live with us, we do this on Zoom, Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I've got all of the info down below, so go ahead and follow and enjoy practice. Hello. So, in another discussion on the Book of Joy, reading through about humility, there's a lot of discussion. The Dalai Lama often says, like, I'm just one of the 7 billion people. Like, I am another person, and I am just as fallible and human as anybody else is. And they give lots of examples of this in, like, getting to know the Dalai Lama through a lot of his readings, or if you watch videos, interviews, etc. And there's also a lot of examples given of moments when we have like big leaders or like people that we idolize, like musicians and actors and stuff. And whenever these folks show their humanness, we feel so much more connected to them than when there's like this pompous, like, oh, I'm so much, I have to have my only green M&Ms in my dressing room, or like the Dalai Lama was talking about leaders that need to like sit on a chair that's higher than everyone else, so they like stacked up bricks under his chair. And they're thinking like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna fall. Not gonna look so pompous then. And it's really important to remember our own humility and our own humanness, because that is a huge tool for connection. It's also a huge tool for being present, and it's an excellent tool for feeling better about the stuff that you're doing, especially if it's something like maybe you're not like really, really good at. And so this is kind of a call out, but it's not meant that way. If people be like, oh, I don't want to go to yoga because I don't like know what I'm doing, and people are going to be looking at me and like think I'm doing the thing wrong, and they're not. First of all, they're thinking probably what you're thinking is like, oh God, nobody look at me, I'm doing this weird thing wrong. But we're all like in this very human space. And when you're working with, especially something that's very like physically involved and kind of mentally demanding at times and kind of complicated and kind of weird, we're in a place of like, what am I doing right now? Like it's very much like, what's going on with this human? And like nobody in the room or nobody in your space is probably looking around like, what's going on with those humans? Like that's just not the reality of the situation. And so practice some of that it's easier like when we're in our own space, right? But to think of practicing some of that humility in our lives, it's like, it's not really about me. Like probably everybody's not looking at me right now. It's not like I'm David Bowie walking down the street causing a scene. Yeah. Like to just say like, I'm just one of the 7 billion people. And sometimes I'm doing stuff good, and sometimes I'm kind of fucking up, which is okay too, and to just let things be a human experience, and it's totally fine if it's not perfect. In fact, it's better if it's not, because then you have somewhere to go from there. I want to do some weird transitions today. I think it'll be really fun. We'll also work on some hammy stuff and some heart opening. So we're going to do some face brushing first. Take your index finger and your thumb together. the squishy spot at the bottom of your thumb, bring that to the center of your forehead and brush outwards towards your temples a few times. And then go from the sides of your nose out to your temples, along your cheekbones. From your temples down to your chin, along your jawline. And the sides of your nose down to your chin. Just relaxing the face after the day. And then take your fingertips and bring them underneath and behind your ears. Massaging back there. Thinking of lifting up from that bony spot behind your ears. And resting your hands down in your lap. Bringing your hands down somewhere that's comfortable to you. If it feels comfortable, close your eyes and draw your focus inwards as you take some long, deep breaths. Another thing that I like to talk about when talking about humility is, especially after kind of like a chat like that, it feels like humility is like, oh man, like I'm just this one person and I'm so small. But really, humility is not like, oh, I'm just me. Humility is also a deep connection to being with other humans in space. And so another element of humility is to practice gratitude for all of the experiences and connections and other humans that have helped us to be this one particular awesome one of the 7 billion people. You are a masterpiece in the making. Your next breath in, let the exhale out through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3 ohms. To come into child's pose as your first shape. I'm going to make a suggestion to use blocks. If you don't use blocks or you don't have anything around to use, don't worry, just do regular old child's pose. But what you might do is place blocks underneath your hands just for some extra shoulder stretching. Now if this doesn't feel good, then just go ahead and scooch the blocks away. Try still to bring your head down onto the floor, letting your forehead drop down to the mat. One more exhale. And start to pull yourself up to your hands and knees. Go ahead and slide those blocks out of the way. I usually move them towards the front of my mat. And work through a few cat and cow rounding your spine, and then looking up, rolling the shoulders back, taking that a few times. And then relaxing your spine here. Take the right hand and slide it just behind the left until you come down to rest on your head and your shoulder. If it's not easy to come down with your head to the floor, try bringing a block underneath your head so you don't have to go down quite as far if you happen to have tight shoulders. One more exhale. Then you're going to take the right hand out and place it back under your right shoulder. Take the left hand, thread it just behind the right, come down and just rest. Sometimes I like to come up to fingertips on the right hand here. It just kind of feels like a nice place to arrange my limbs, but if you want to do something different with your limbs, just do that. One more exhale. And then make sure that right hand is planted in front of your face as you unwind the left arm. And then we're going to take the right foot and slide it back, rock back and forth. I've got the toes curled under so that I'm getting some stretch to my calf and relaxing the bottom of the foot. Then bring your right hand further forward. Take the right leg and cross it back behind you. And as you push into your right hand, you feel an area I call the side pants opening up. Kind of push your right hip to the right and then let out an exhale. And pull your right knee back in, your right hand back in. And slide the left toes behind you. Keep the foot on the floor and start to rock back and forth. No, thank you. And then you're going to take the left hand further forward, cross the left leg behind you. And you have this big stretch on the left side. I like to kind of push the shoulder out, the hip out, let the skin stretch out. Let out another exhale. And then bring the left knee down, the left hand back in. From here, take your right foot forward. And you're going to lift your arms up in the air. When you get here, you're going to reach the arms all the way back. And then roll the shoulders back and lift the heart up and forward. See if you can move the hips just a little bit further forward than they were so far. Take a nice big breath in. And out. You're going to take your arms all the way up. Interlace your fingers and press your palms up towards the sky. Feel the hands pressing up a little higher, stretching the belly. If you're feeling steady in your balance, try a little wiggle side to side. Go slowly. And then you're going to take the hands that are pressing up and bring them back behind your head. Let your shoulders relax. Let your gaze lift up. Try not to lean back. You want to still send your hips and your heart forward. Now let out a big exhale. And then take your hands down. We're going to take the back foot and step it up to the front of your mat. Relax your head down, wiggle your head out. You've got blocks up here, right? So you could use those if that's going to help. I don't know what's up with my ponytail today, but apparently I'm going to have weird hair. Anyway, exhale into your fold. And then start to stand yourself up. Lift your arms. And bring them back down to your heart. And you can stay where you're at, but I'm going to face you so that you can see that I'm going to step the feet out a little bit wider. And then you want to make sure that your knees keep facing in the same direction as your toes as you do this. So we're going to let the arms drop down by the sides. And you're going to push your hips back As you reach the arms out and forward, take a big breath in and out. And stand up. Reach your arms back behind you. Feel your heart lift. Then we're going to push the hips back. Again, reach the arms out in front. Look down and make sure you can see the tops of your feet. Breathe in and breathe out. And then stand up again. Reach the arms back, stretch the chest. And one more time, sit back. That kind of wide chair pose. I want your thighs to get real warm. Make sure you can see the tops of your feet. And then on your inhale, reach the arms back, lift the heart up. And relax your shoulders. You're going to take your hands down. We had the right foot forward. Now we're going to step the right foot back and lower your knee down. And then once you get there, you can untuck the back toes. We're going to lift the arms up. And take a big circle of the arms, reaching all the way out, down, and back. And some big opening of the shoulders. Reach the fingertips back. Let out an exhale. And take the arms up, interlace your fingers and press the palms up. Watch the tendency to lean back through the hips and instead try to move those hips forward. Reach the hands up a little bit higher. If you're feeling steady in your balance, try a little slow side bend, wiggly. It's like wiggle adjacent. Like a little slower. What's slower than a wiggle? Is a shimmy slower or faster than a wiggle? Okay. Asking the big questions. Take your hands back behind your head. And then try to relax the shoulders, but still lift the belly, the heart. Relax the muscles in your face. One more exhale. And then you're going to release the hands, take them forward. And you can, we got the blocks around. We're going to curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, and step forward to a fold. Go ahead and relax your head down. And then stand yourself all the way up, lift the arms. And bring your hands down to your heart. Do a little balance work. You're going to shift, lifting one leg up and setting it down, and the other leg up and setting it down. And no real timing for this. Maybe an inhale to lift and exhale to set it down. Watch that your shoulders aren't lifting up. Just settle them down. By the way, that's just a human thing. It's what we do. It's like the, oh, I don't know what this is. It's weird. Go ahead and relax them down. Lift your inner thighs just one more time on each leg. And set the foot down. Okay, this could get really spicy if you want it to be spicy. If you've got tender knees or you don't want this to be spicy, I want you to, this is as much as you need to bend. Okay, that's all you need to do. Just from here, there, tiniest little bit. Depending on how deep you go, the spicier it's going to be. So what you might do is you might reach into a middle level chair to see how it feels. You're going to go from here to stand up and take one leg with you. And then sit down into that chair and stand up and take the other leg with you. And what I would like to do with my arms is reach the arms back on the chair so I have a little momentum to lift the leg up. And then sit back and lift the leg up and sit back and lift the leg on the inhale. And just one more leg. And lift it up. And that's the one I fall over in. And then bring your hands down and your feet down. And bring your feet a little closer together. I'm going to take the hands and make Vira Mudra, steeple fingers, lift up. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Lift your butt up and forwards. It's a little bit more energized. And then take a side bend to your right. Take a breath in. And a breath out. And come up and side bend over towards the left. See if you can push down a little bit more in the right foot. And then come on up. And relax your hands down. You can step your feet back to a more comfortable distance. And since we already stepped back with the right leg, now we're going, oh no, we're not. I lied. You're actually going to bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Make sure your strap, you know where it is before you come down to the floor. In fact, I'm going to take mine and just kind of slide it back there because I know that's where I'm going to need it. And then we're coming down to the ground. How you get there, totally up to you. What you might do is sit back down into one more chair. Well, one more chair for now. And maybe... oh, my tight calves! Come on down. For those of us in the Pacific Northwest, it is go hike all of the things season, and so my calves are real tight. So maybe yours are too. So here's what we're going to do about it. We're going to open the backs of the legs. So grab your strap, and you're going to take it around the bottom of your right foot. The whole point of using the strap is so that it is comfortable for me to hold onto my leg and I don't have to feel like, oh God, I gotta get this thing in towards my face, because that's not what we're going for here. What I like to do is to wrap the ends of the strap around my knuckles, and we've been doing some things that are making the leg a little bit more heated, a little more warm, so then it'll stretch a little bit better later. So this is not the bring it in towards my face one. This is pushing out into a really straight leg. So my leg went away from my face. I can get it closer to my face, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to fire up all the muscles around my thigh and kind of like above my knee right here. So for folks that don't always straighten their leg, you're gonna think that this is straight, and it's really not. As long as you're not feeling pain underneath the knee, I'd like you to really press that leg forward. You can even take the other hand and put it on your thigh, and then you want to push the thigh bone into that hand. And this unfolds. If you're still not sure if the leg is straight, that's totally fine. I would just like this to feel a little bit hard. I'm sorry. But I want you to warm up those thigh muscles. Let's go for 2 more breaths in the kind of hard version. Ooh. And then relax that leg a little bit, so we're no longer trying to get it super straight. You can soften it. If you want, you can take the left leg and slide it out if that feels good, and then gently draw a more bent right leg in towards you. You will notice I do not have my leg on my face, because that does not sound gentle. Find a place you can breathe in. This one shouldn't feel as hard as the other one. Just let it be relaxed in your hamstring. Now you're going to move both ends of the strap to your right hand. So I've got the right leg up, I'm using the right hand, but I'm going to move the leg to the left. And the reason I want to use the right hand is I don't want it to go too far. That was it. Did you even notice? Just a little bit. It's barely crossed the silhouette of my body. Make sure that the right hip isn't lifting up. In fact, maybe you start to press that right hip down towards the floor. One more exhale. And then you're going to relax the leg. Go ahead and take the strap off of your foot. And we're going to switch sides. So I'm going to set the right foot down. I'm going to put the strap around the bottom of my left foot. I like to wrap the ends around my knuckles, so it's just a little easier to hold on to. And we're going to do the hard one for a couple breaths here. So I want leg really strong. You should feel your thigh muscle firing up, but we're still going breath first. Breath is my first focus. So if you're like going so hard that you can't breathe anymore, don't go that hard. I know. Squirrel and Jezebel are vehemently against doing very hard things. One more exhale. And then we'll relax the leg. So now here's the stretchy part. So if you want to stretch the leg out, you can. If that doesn't feel good, you leave it right there. That's totally fine. If you want to gently work the legs, how did you drop an entire blanket on my hair? Oh my God. Okay, couple more breaths. One more exhale. And then you're going to take both ends of the strap into the left hand, so left leg, left hand, and then leaving that left hip down, start to move your leg just a little over towards the right. So if like the shape of your body was like it had walls, wouldn't you barely get the leg over to the wall? Feel that right on the outer seam of your leg. If you're not, push the hip down a little bit further. It's in there. Let out an exhale. And then we're going to take the strap off of the foot, lift your legs. You're going to bend your knees and bring the feet close together. See if you can hold your feet. If you can't hold the feet, or if the feet separate, that's fine. Hold your shins. I'm going to pull the knees down and the feet down towards the hips. Again, to a place you can breathe through. Not a place where you feel like your limbs are going to disconnect from you. One more exhale. And then relax. Just tuck those knees in. Okay, they're out of the way. Good. Okay, so we're going to come up like this because I think it will be fun for some folks. Please do not let your ego rule your decisions here. I find this very difficult. Most of the time my knees are like really unsure about it, but it still feels okay. If you know you've got knee stuff or this seems like a really bad idea, then we're just gonna stand up, friends. That's all you gotta do. But if you're feeling a little saucy today, maybe you come all the way from laying down right here to standing up in what I like to call Tadasana. All right. Some of us made it. Excellent. Okay, so once you're up to standing, probably grab some blocks up by the front of your mat. I'm going to step the left foot back as far as it'll go. I've got hands to blocks or hands to fingertips on the floor. And if I have hands on fingertips on the floor, I may not end up straightening my leg. I call this straight-ish. See how it's not totally straight? So that's just giving yourself that space. If you want to put the back knee down, you can totally put the back knee down. Or we'll go take an inhale. And then exhale, straighten or straight-ish the leg. Pause there. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend the knee. Come to the lunge. Stay there, take an inhale. Exhale, straighten, straight-ish the knee. Pause, take an inhale. Exhale, bend the knee. Something a little different, you're going to take your right hand, either put it on your right, my hair is blocking everything. You can put the right hand on your right thigh or reach the right arm up in the air. Let your belly soften. When you exhale, you should feel your left ribs getting a little closer to your right thigh. And then you're going to take your hands down and you're going to walk this all the way over to a wide-legged fold. You could take a block with you if you wanted to. And then put a little bend in your knees and stand yourself up. We're going to turn the heels in, the knees and the toes out, and take, I call this old softball guy. stretch. So you want to press your thighs open. I'm not pressing down on my knees. I'm pressing from the inner thighs out and pushing the feet down so my thighs are working, just not as much as if I had to like do this or something. Let out another exhale. And then start to stand yourself up. Turn your heels wider, toes are forward. Come and bring the hands behind your back. Draw the shoulders down, lift your heart up, and then go forward about halfway. And there are no exact fractions in my practice. There is just like, okay, this is up, that's all the way down, and then everything in between here is halfway. Okay. Breathe, let out an exhale, and then lift all the way back up. Release your arms, roll them around, and bring your feet closer together. Whew. And then you're going to come back up towards the front of your space. You're going to step your right foot back and come here. And then you stay there. I'm going to turn around. Otherwise, I won't be facing you in a little bit. So step back nice and long. Take an inhale. Exhale, straightish or straighten the leg. Stay there as you inhale. As you exhale, bend the knee. You stay there as you inhale. Maybe lift the heart a little bit. And exhale, straightish the leg. As you inhale, stay there. Maybe you lift the heart just a little bit. And then as you exhale, bend the knee. From here, push down into your strong feet. Take the left arm up in the air or just bring it to your left thigh. See, I didn't change anything but my arm. I'm still twisting. So which seems like a better place to put my hands? A good place for me, not a good place for what my ego thinks makes the yoga look cooler. And then one more exhale. And then you're going to start walking yourself all the way up into this wide-legged forward fold, facing out towards the right. This time, see if you can bend your elbows a little bit. Maybe that means you bend your knees too. In fact, maybe bending your knees is a really nice way to dig deeper into the fold, even if you don't, quote, need to. And then if you do have space to start straightening the legs, see if you can keep your belly close in the direction of your thighs. One more exhale. And start to stand yourself up. We're going to go heels in, knees and toes facing out. You are welcome to rest in this place once more. It's a great place to keep building up this strength. If you're feeling a little stronger, what I'd like you to do is to do Ganesh Mudra with me. So one palm face forward, one palm face back, and you make these little hooks with your hands, and you're going to pull apart. Ganesh is the elephant god, the remover of obstacles, also the placer of obstacles, because duality and weirdness and inconsistency is in the human experience, yada yada, strong stuff. One more exhale, and then straighten your legs, relax your arms. You did one side, you got to do the other. If your legs are killing you, stay standing, please, and just do it up here. If you can come down with me, because really warm muscles are more flexible muscles, and we're gonna work into that. 2 more exhales. Pull it apart. Woo. And then relax it, release your arms. We're going to turn the toes forward again, heels go back, a little bit different. This time come down into a fold, bring your hands to the floor. And then we're going to leave the right hand in front of your face. Take the left arm, and you might end up bending your knees for this. We're going to reach the left arm underneath towards the right shin, and then pull yourself underneath. You can like roll your right armpit up towards the ceiling a little. One more exhale. And then release that twist. Take your left hand in front of your face. Reach the right arm underneath the left leg for the left shin. And then you want to rotate Oh, as much as you got space for. One more exhale. And come back to the center. A little bend in the knees. Stand yourself up. Onamas. Come back down to a fold. This time, both of your hands go down towards your right leg. If you've got extra space, please don't let the knee go forward. You're going to push the hips back, bending a bit into your left leg. One more exhale. Then you're going to walk your hands over towards the left leg. Your right leg could stay exactly where it is. You don't need to do it. Just because I say maybe does not mean that that's the right thing for your body, your knees, your hips. But maybe you push the hips back as you bend into your right leg. One more exhale. Walk it back to the center. Stand yourself up. Bring your feet in underneath you. I would like to do 2 more standing poses, but it's one side on each leg, so it's kind of 4. I don't know how you do body math, but that's what that is. So find a warrior 1. Make sure your feet are a little separated. Don't stand on a tightrope, and then take your arms up and take a nice big circle, stretching across the chest as you reach the arms all the way down and back. Now you could stop here where I'm just reaching the fingertips. You could hold your hips. You could grab the strap and hold the strap. Or you could hold onto opposite hands. We're going to open the heart and go forward about halfway. And again, that's kind of an arbitrary turn, but we're going to pause at halfway and make sure that the shoulders didn't sneak forward. If they do, then you just pull them back. And if you go a little further and the shoulders sneak forward, which sometimes they do, you just roll them up and back, and then see how much you're willing to relax your head. Make sure your hips aren't swinging over towards the right side. You want to pull them in underneath you. Check with the breath. Let out another breath. And relax your arms. Lift yourself up. Switch sides. We'll do the humble warrior on the other side. So, switching feet. Make sure you're not standing one foot in front of the other. It's going to be really hard to come forward. It's going to be really hard to balance. So got the right foot out to the right of it. We'll take the arms up. Take a nice big breath in. And then a big pull, big circle. Arms go back as much as they have space for. And then again, I have fingertips out, fingertips to hips. Grab a strap or grab my hands behind my back. Open the heart. Move the heart forward about halfway. Pause. Notice if the shoulders creep forward. And if they do, you go, oh, okay, that's just a good opportunity for me to roll them back. And then see if you can go a little further. Drawing shoulders up and back. Relaxing your head. One more exhale. We'll lift up, release the arms, and bring both feet up. Okay, roll out your ankles and your feet a few times. Just move some foot bones around and make them a little more flexy. Feel free to have a wall or a friend nearby to hold on to. We're going to take a tree pose, where your tree pose could be there, it could be higher. I'm going to move it higher just because my foot will kind of stay at my thigh. And then watch that your hips don't sink behind you. We want to lift them up and forward. We're going to take the arms up and make Vira Mudra or Charlie's Angels hands. Oh God, there I go falling. Up above the head. You want to reach and stretch yourself out as long of a line as possible. And then we're going to do a real weird thing. Arms go out. You are going to end up pushing your butt back here. Oh, God. Heart forward. I was looking for the words for what this was. Okay. stand up and put a foot down. That was a hell of a balance challenge. Thank you for playing along. Now that you're terrified of the other side, let's just get into it. So, don't do your stretching out tall with your butt back there. That's for the second part. We're going to keep the butt underneath. I hope you can see, because I know I wear black and everything's dark. So, get up real tall and then stretch like you're on a stretcher. Somebody is reaching and pulling your hands up a little higher. Woo. And then open your arms out, and it's like a swan dive. Feeling real awkward. Let the exhale out. Stand up. And put your feet down. And then move things out. Thank you for playing. Go ahead and step up towards the front of your space. If you went anywhere else, bring your feet real wide. About as wide as your mat, or just a little wider than your hips. You want your toes to be out a little bit. Again, if your knees, hips, feet, energy doth protest, we're just sitting down next. So however you want to get down there, that sounds great. What you might do is come to a spot like this. What you might do is come to a spot like this. The distance here between my butt and the floor is much lower than here, but I could still go from here, maybe all the way back. So let's all go back, friends. With or without your hands, and then shift a little side to side. And let your feet come down to the mat a little wider than your hips, or about mat width apart. Take your arms and reach them back, and let your knees go to one side, and take a full inhale and exhale. My legs are apart. And then bring the knees up and over to the other side. My legs are apart. So what I'm feeling the stretch is kind of right here on that like top leg. After you exhale, take your knees up, and one more time each side, just a full round of breath. And bringing the knees up and over to the other side. One more exhale. And coming back to the center, you're going to put your right ankle on your left knee. Reach your arms in between, or right arm in between the legs. Hold your left thigh. Relax your hips down and forward. We're going to come up to a seat. You might stay in this position or find it again when you get there. See how that goes. Release your leg. Take your hands back behind you. I've got my hands down, and I'm going to roll the shoulders up. So my heart gets closer to my shin and the sensation increases. The further away your foot is, the more gentle the sensation will be. If you would like more sensation, bring your foot closer to your hips. Heart goes up. One more exhale. And then I'm going to just come to a seated twist. You can kind of tilt yourself over like that. It's fine if you're off center. If that doesn't feel good on your bottom leg, you just slide that bottom leg out. We'll twist towards the right. So whether the leg is straight or bent on the bottom, the top leg, the right leg, you twist towards that right leg. I'm going to release the right hip down towards the floor. Soften the belly. One more exhale. And then unwind the twist of your legs. Bring yourself back down onto your back. We'll go left ankle on the right knee. Reach the left arm between the legs. Fold the right thigh. Take some deep breaths. Start to either rack yourself up or configure yourself on your own cognizance of a place where you are seated with your left ankle on your right knee. Oh my gosh. Whose hip is this? Is often how I feel from side to side. I'm like, what is going on? Ugh, bodies and their lack of symmetry is a fascinating topic. Lift the heart up a little more if you can. Let's go for 2 more breaths. And then maybe you just tilt it over, tuck that bottom foot in, or extend that bottom leg out. It's all up to you. Try for both hips down as you twist towards the left, towards your top leg. Soften the belly on your exhale. And unwind your legs. And we're going to take the legs out real wide. Just go to wherever is comfortable to you. Take your hands back behind you. Lift your heart up. And then we've made the thighs all warm, that we've done all of that hamstring stretching, we've done all of that dropping the belly in towards the thigh. We're going to work into a couple of folds, and we're all human beings. We're very much more connected and similar than we are not, but physiologically speaking, we don't all have the same meat suit that we're occupying, and the idea is a drawing inwards, a softening energy, a relaxing of the back, and a releasing of the hamstring. The idea is not put my face on my shin. It's just not. There's no functional purpose for that. But I imagine you can think of many functional purposes or, symbolism to the benefit of drawing inwards, of softening, of relaxing. So try to find that kind of quality to whatever shape you end up bringing that meat suit into. We're going to bring the legs closer together. Take a leg, bend it. An asymmetrical shape tends to be a little easier to work into. You are welcome to use your strap to kind of lasso your foot if that's a comfortable way for you to hold on. If that brings you tension or discomfort, not worth it. You hold wherever you like. Sometimes sitting up on something can help folds a lot. So just kind of like sliding a little couch cushion or something, just barely under the back of the hips. It makes because it already starts to tilt your pelvis forward. So as you bring yourself forward, if you're trying to like reach forward and you realize your waist is behind your hips, you're gonna want to reach less forward and just lift. So first goal is I can stack my torso. Then anywhere else after that is just wherever your body happens to go. Thinking of the qualities that we're looking for. The qualities are a turning inwards, a softening, thinking of a relaxed back. So if what you're doing is causing tension in your back, maybe, backing off a little bit and relaxing that. And if you're not feeling a big hamstring stretch up there, try bending your knee and bringing it closer to you. Or maybe that relaxes your back enough to come forward. One more breath out. Gently start to lift yourself up. We're going to go to the other side. Just switch your legs. I know I'm always facing every which way, so You can be on your mat, you can be in your own space. If I were like really fancy, I'd have like 10 cameras that could look from different angles. That would give me so much anxiety. I don't want any more devices in my life. Softening, a releasing, a drawing inwards. One more exhale. And then coming out of that space, we'll send both legs forward. For some people, so having the symmetric shape can be a little bit more of a barrier. You might not feel like you're able to get as far. It might not feel as comfortable. Maybe it feels better to you. I don't know. I don't occupy your body. What you might do is take the hands behind you and just lift. Now I am folding forward at my hips here. If this feels more comfortable to you than trying to reach forward, then you just stay here. If you are feeling inclined to draw yourself forward, make sure you're observing those qualities that we really want to look for here, that I have a softening, a drawing in, a recognition that I am human, that my worthiness as a human does not depend on the manipulability of a flexible body. I'm here to have an experience, to breathe, to get a little weird. And there is no functional purpose for putting my face on my shins. One more exhale. Slowly peeling yourself out of the fold. Have you been sitting up on anything? Go ahead and move that off to your side. Lots of stuff around here. Bring your hands back behind you. Try to get your hands to face forward. If they don't, out to the side is okay, but going back is going to drop your shoulders forward. You're going to miss out on some of this heart opening. So to the side or forward. We're going to draw elbows and arm bones back as we lift the heart up. A little effort in the arms, a little strength behind those arms. One more breath in. One more breath out. Soften your heart. Start to come down to your elbows. Watch that you aren't with your tailbone facing down. What I need to do is usually pick my hips up so I can point my tailbone down. We're going to drop down into the elbows to lift the heart up. If you like to let your head go back, you can. This is like the only place that I like to let my head go back because my shoulders catch me. Oh, lift the heart. And then soften the heart down. Relax yourself all the way down onto your back. Reach the arms back behind you. If you don't have room, wiggle until you do. Stretch long from fingertips to toes. Feel the heart floating upwards. The fronts of the hips lengthen and open. Take another really big breath in. Feel yourself filling up and expanding on your exhale. Let it go. And then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Rock side to side. Your arms open and your knees drop over towards one side, just relaxing into a twist. Let the opposite shoulder relax in the direction of the floor. One more exhale. And moving your knees around to the the other side. You might need to wiggle your shoulders a bit. That is a common response to going from side to side, because again, we are not perfectly symmetric. Adjust as you need. One more exhale. And as you come back to the center, maybe drop your feet down and relax your knees against each other. With the arms coming down closer by your sides, let the palms face up and wiggle the shoulders together underneath the heart, just to help the heart feel a little more gently expanded. You can rest here. You can slide your legs out long. Maybe you would rather configure your body in a way that's more comfortable to you. So lay or sit in a way that feels good. You might take a seated meditation instead of a laying down shavasana. But we'll spend just a couple of minutes resting before we wrap up practice together. Start to come back to your body. Take some deeper breaths, make some small movements that help you to feel more alert, more tuned in to this moment. And start to roll yourself over to one side. Take a moment of gratitude for the opportunity to share this time and this practice together. And when you're ready, coming up to find your own version of a comfortable seat. Seal practice releasing one more Om together. Big breath in. To honor the love, the light, and the darkness that resides within each of our hearts. Thanks for being here, friends. Thanks, Lisa. Oh, hi,
Thank you.
You made it. Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks for joining us. See you next time, friends. Have good days. Bye. Thank you.
Pick the papers for us.
Always.
Okay.
Bye.